Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
Watch. Okay, well, has this always been a thing? Where have I been?
Barbed wire exploding death match. Welcome to the Smack Drop podcast, everybody.
There's some guns too, finger guns at least. But you know there'll be. Kenny Omega is going to be there. There'll be some finger guns.
There'll be finger guns.
Yeah,
dude, what the hell's a barbed wire exploding death match, Kevin?
it sounds like something from Fire Pro Wrestling World, the fucking video game. If you want to know the God's honest truth, like you can literally do stuff like that in that game, and that's immediately what I thought of when they announced that match.
I'm gonna have to hop on Google.
So, yeah, I don't know. Like, are they gonna kill each other? Literally? Like,
That's the way Kenny was laying it out at the end of the show.
Yeah, it sure seemed that way.
Bloth 80 says that's the style.
Straight death threats.
Hooligans and beers, yes sir.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us on the Smack Draw podcast. We do a wrestling recap show. We recapture Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, all these shows every week, bring it to you live on twitch.tv/ putting you over, unless specifically it's NXT, in which case on Wednesday nights they're going over on twitch.tv/ SmackDraw podcast. Katie and RN currently covering NXT right now, actually. God, man, dude,
They're dope.
Yeah, dude, I'm in shock, Kev. I'm in shock.
Shock, huh?
Shock and awe. You know,
You got shocked.
well, so I'm lying. I've seen tidbits here and there of these matches. They are definitely a Japanese thing that I've noticed.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, that makes sense that it comes from like I thought of the Fire Pro Wrestling World because that's basically the NJPW video game.
yeah, I'm pretty sure
Essentially.
Cactus Jack has done a couple of these too, by the way.
Of course he did.
It's just crazy because, you know, we spent so long with AEW being compared to like WCW and getting a lot of these older match types and vibes. Here comes, you know, I mean, there's been stuff here and there. The Lights Out match was obviously a death match inspired, but
Yeah.
this is straight up like Japanese death match style from what I gather, bro. I am excited, man. I'm excited for Revolution now.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, look at the unsanctioned match that Moxley and Omega had like a while ago. I don't remember exactly when that was, but that was brutal. Like Moxley literally ripped the friggin' pads off of the ring and paradigm shift him and shit. It was nuts.
Yeah, that was the Lights Out match.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And they had the
we're
barbed
referring to
wire
the same
bed,
match.
like the barbed wire platform off the side of the stage. Stuff was
Yeah.
nuts,
Whew.
man.
Those guys killed each other, literally. I think.
If you guys ever miss a live stream, please head on over to youtube.com/SmackDraw Podcast. Subscribe. Where's that button? I have a button for that, don't I? There it is.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Helps
think
us
so.
out greatly. Kev's mom just subscribed to the show. Shout out to Kev's mom.
Mama Crazy in the house. She'll probably watch like tomorrow on YouTube,
Hey,
but that's fine.
hey.
Yeah.
Also, while you're at, you know, generously helping us out, help out WrestlingNewsWorld.com. We're their exclusive recap show for this news website. So go subscribe to them as well, man. A lot of talented guys over there. And then lastly, we would like to ask you to generously open your wallets, patreon.com/SmackDraw Podcast. Subscribe to the show over there. Very low, inexpensive tiers. We offer rewards like stickers, t-shirts. Unpopular Wrestling Opinions is getting very good steam. Get yourself featured on that show by recording a video of yourself in your pro wrestling hot take for the host and panelists to debate. Who knows? Maybe they'll like it, maybe they won't. but you can get yourself on the show over at patreon.com/SmackedRawPodcast.
Rumor has it the guests are already booked.
Oh, we're not going to talk about that. I haven't booked anybody yet.
The rumor has it the guests are already booked.
You
Hey,
guys
Kyle,
are harassing
rumor
me in the
has
chat.
it.
I told you first. I gather the unpopular opinions, then I'll get the guest. You guys are trying to make me do this backwards. We'll see. We'll see. All right, Kev. Dynamite.
Rumor has it the guests. All right, I'm done.
Okay. All right. Fucking in this stupid rocking chair because my goddamn computer chair broke. I should do this just the whole show. How distracting would this shit be?
All right, no, I'm gonna stop. Dude, I wouldn't even realize I was doing it.
That's fucking lame. Dude, it's just such a weird chair to sit in. Oh,
hey, man, you do you, boo boo.
Yeah. Blah says, this game is for unpopular opinions. It's you'd have to go like Bloth, head over to our YouTube. We have a list. I already curated the list. You can check it out. I've got all the unpopular wrestling opinion episodes bunched together. It'll take you 5 minutes to figure out what that show is about, but it's really fun, man. It's really fun. A lot of people enjoy it. It takes you spend time. You spend time. What was it? You spend time on Twitter, and a lot of these toxic takes that usually like piss people off. This is a good way because you pull people together to collectively vent over a lot of these bad tweets, and some of them, surprisingly, isn't that bad.
Yeah. I mean, the most divisive one that I've ever seen was somebody buried The Office.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, no. And I mean, the last episode of UWO, Bob threatened to walk out on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Other than that, that was
when you say put awkward. Butts in seats, the Tokyo Dome counts. Okay. Don't say the Tokyo Dome doesn't count, man. People blew up on that, man. Dynamite, Kev. Let's get on topic, man. I'm just all over the place tonight.
Yeah, you're right.
Dynamite.
You're right.
What'd you think of the show, man?
It exceeded my expectations when I looked at the card earlier. To be honest with you, I kind of thought it was going to be a little bland, but no, it was really, 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 really good. I'm really enjoying the women's tournament right now. What's that called? The Eliminator Tournament?
Yep.
Yeah. And by the way, I watched the Japanese side of it.
You did.
But I watched it with the Japanese commentary, and I didn't realize that there was even English on accident. I mean, the wrestling was dope. Don't get me wrong. But I had
when you told me there was no English, I was like, that doesn't make sense. I was like, there's got to be an English.
No, there's totally English.
Huh?
No, the thing that was cool about it is that it was Hikaru Shida was on the Japanese commentary, and I'm not sure who the other person was, but I thought that was a nice touch.
Okay.
But it still didn't help me understand what she was fucking saying.
No. Serena Deeb and God damn it. Riho, excuse me. Looking at the name. They had a great match, man, tonight. I thought.
Oh my god, it was.
Yeah.
I forgot. Like Riho she's so deceiving. You know?
Yeah. No. They book her the whole 95-pound thing. Yo, can you believe it? It was not even a year ago. People were saying like AEW's women division was a joke. Now I'm not going to sit here and say that they're better than NXT or WWE's women division as a whole, because they've been scooping up the top women's talent for the better part of a decade now. AEW's had to piece their roster together over the last year, but I feel like they are firmly in a good place now, like firmly in a really decent place where they can put on great matches. I mean, I noticed the crowd more during the women's match than I did probably the rest of the whole evening. Like the crowd was really hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a couple. This is awesome chants, I think, during that match, which was really really fucking cool to hear.
Yeah. What else we have? The Seidel brothers. You had apparently there's a Mike Seidel I wasn't even aware about.
I had no idea that dude existed either. So
they did pretty
there
good.
You go.
Everyone's talking about Sting taking a power bomb. Jesus Christ. We'll get into that.
That's scary, man.
Yeah.
It was scary. That's all I'll say for now.
Yeah. So let's get into this. Let's get into it. So probably one of my most anticipated things of the whole week was actually the kickoff angle with Matt Hardy and Hangman Page. They had a match against the Hybrid 2, which was a fairly okay, kind of sketchy match. There was some missed spots and bad timing here and there, surprisingly on the Hybrid's part.
That really surprised me because they're so good and so athletic, and it was noticeable. I hear you.
Yeah. At one point though, Matt Hardy dodges a move, and Hangman Page is able to come in with a double buckshot lariat, allowing Matt Hardy to hit Twist of Fate, pick up a win for his team. He instantly starts celebrating on the mic, so we get the resolve from the angle from last week. Matt Hardy's gloating about how Hangman Page is going to be super rich. Matt Hardy's going to get 30% of it because that's Matt Hardy's whole shtick now, is just trying to just mooch off of everybody else.
He's money out of people, basically.
Yeah. Hangman Page reveals that he swapped the contracts. It was somebody in a certain group that taught him to always have an extra rolled up piece of paper in his jacket. Thought that was a pretty cool touch.
My God.
Yeah.
I just put that together in my head. Just as you said that, I was like, oh my God, that's a Brody Lee, literally just, damn, that it was a nice touch. Holy shit. Anyway, sorry, that was totally genuine.
No, you're good. So really what this was is Hangman reveals that he swapped the contract out for a match contract, and that if he at Revolution, and if Hangman Page wins, he will receive a 100% of Matt Hardy's Q1 earnings in AEW, which also means he'll also receive 30% of the Private Party's earnings.
Yep. You sure will.
Yeah, Matt Hardy trying to scramble to recoup getting duped. He tells Hangman Page to make, honestly, just do the same thing on your end. If I win,
I'll get the shut up, basically.
Yeah.
Be a man.
Then they label it a money match, which I thought was pretty cool. That sounded pretty dope. It's a money match. At one point they shake hands. Matt Hardy turns on Hangman Page. We have Jackson DeVille, the Jacksonville Jaguars mascot, is revealed to be Isaiah Cassidy, I want to say. Private Party. They start to beat down Hangman Page. At that point, Brody Lee Jr. -1 calls out the Dark Order. Dark Order clean house. Fantastic. Dark Order firmly still supports their boy Hangman Page, even though he chose not to join.
I popped so hard for -1, man. That was so dope. That kid was cheesing so fucking hard. He ran out there and he's like waving him to the ring and shit. It was so cool. And they got out there real quick, too, because something that RN always points out is how slow those dudes will get out to help their friends.
Yeah.
There was no hesitation in Dark Order. Like,
John Silver and Alex Reynolds were actually the first two people out. It was afterwards.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. -1 got the whole crew out afterwards.
Yeah.
What do you feel about this whole... I know you don't watch Being the Elite, you said. But how do you feel about this whole non-dark version of Dark Order? Because essentially they're all happy-go-lucky goofballs now. They're essentially not to knock their height, but they remind me of honestly just like the Seven Dwarfs. They're just.
I mean, you're not wrong.
They have no breakout stars in the faction. Right. There's no single star. It's like the star is the faction. If anything, right now, John Silver and Negative One are the two big stars of the faction, but they're not, obviously. Negative One's not a wrestler, and John Silver's not going to go on some singles run. He's in a tag team, so
yeah.
It's interesting, man.
Well, not only that, I don't think that John Silver really has the star power to be the leader, if you will. You know,
Not
I think he could
not
be
a leader,
soon,
but he's a
maybe
breakout
even
star.
not right now.
Like
Yeah.
I said, if you were to watch,
Oh, he's
Being the
benefited
Elite-
from being in the. I know.
No, if you were to watch, Being
He's
the
benefited
Elite-
from anybody in the Dark Order. Anybody that's in the Dark Order right now benefits more from being in the Dark Order than they benefit the Dark Order.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yep. No, I see exactly where you're coming from. They do, because the Dark Order, the faction itself,
Mhm.
the entity.
Yeah, like you said, is the character kinda
Yeah.
almost,
Oh man, they're hilarious. I love those guys.
which is cool. I'm down with it. The Seven Dwarves, though, huh?
Seven Dwarves. I'm sorry. I'm gonna regret that tomorrow. I already know. Chris Jericho.
No, I hear you though, because like John Silver. John Silver reminds me kind of a dwarf, honestly. Like I straight up Gimli vibes. So I hear you.
So he's a character in Baldur's Gate. Show some stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
The heck is Bloth 80 over here talking about? Show some stuff. Show what, Bloth? Chris Jericho backstage says he never wants to hear Sammy's name again. MJF trying to, be like, yeah, tell him. I like that Jericho tells him to shut up and acknowledges that a lot of this is his fault. I do like that Chris Jericho, although he acts like a dumbass when push comes to shove, he always reveals himself. Look, I'm not stupid.
I know what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate that aspect, because one of my biggest gripes about other wrestling shows is that heels and faces are often portrayed as morons, more often than not, and it can really take away from a good angle or a good character or a good story.
Like almost too good or too evil to a fault.
Yeah,
where it's like it's cartoonish and like a caricature almost.
Yeah. So on to the Serena Deeb and taking on a returning Rio. We haven't seen Rio in the better part of a year, honestly, because of lockdown and her living in Japan. These two fucking awesome, man. Deeb commentary putting over that Deeb has a bum knee. You had to give your champion, because she's the NWA Women's Champion still. And when they started talking about her injured knee, I'm not going to lie, as fun as the match was, I knew she was eating the L, because it really felt like they were compensating. It's just kind of weird that after such a good match and you building up that her knee was so hurt that she was just pinned instead of a submission or an injury,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know though. That seems a little nitpicky.
Yeah, but I mean, tell me where her knee played a factor into her getting pinned. It was because it was a reversal between the two. She was pinning Riho. Riho reversed out of it, pinned her. It kind of felt like this whole knee story angle was a non-factor, other than when they went to picture-in-picture, they had trainers and stuff looking at her. They had a rest period. No. In picture-in-picture. I'm not saying
you're wrong. I'm just saying overall, man, that match was fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they could have done something like that at the end, but I kind of dug the finish because it was it was wrestling, it was just straight up wrestling, which is cool. You don't get that very often,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I got you.
But I hear where you're coming from too.
Bloth 80 says you look like a metal singer, like a Finnish singer. They're like, have you ever been to Finland?
I you know what? I was in Germany when I was a baby and I don't remember it. So no, never been to Finland. I don't even remember being in Germany.
So here's a thing.
Moving on.
Here's the thing. We find out who's moved on in the Japanese side of this tournament over on YouTube. We have Yuka, who's a big people love Yuka.
Yeah.
Sakura, who I'm a fan of.
I'm on the Yuka train.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
And then here's the thing, though.
The magical girl, isn't that?
The girl that got the most hype, Maki Ito. She lost in the opening round. Like when they announced that she was in this tournament, huge groundswell of support. Huh?
I thought she'd go to the finals after all that fucking hype.
Dude.
You know, because it was like. And then I saw some of her stuff. She is dope.
I watched a 30 or 40 minute YouTube video, like, showing like a story from beginning to finish of like how she became a wrestler and through several story angles and until they climaxed at a certain point. And like that's cool. I instantly was a fan. I was like, oh my God, I see what people are into. And now this chick, you know, she lost in the opening round on YouTube. What does that mean? Is you know, I would imagine she's got to still appear on AEW at some point. You know.
Oh, for sure. I think. Have you watched that part of it yet, or no?
No, I haven't seen the matches.
Okay. Well, it makes sense that she lost if you watch the match. I mean, the woman that she fought against was significantly larger than she was.
Yeah.
You know, and she just got overpowered, you know, like she did well. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's not like you watch that match and you go, she got fucking buried. Like, it was just like, the size advantage was too much for her to overcome. You know, she didn't look weak. It was, you know.
That was kind of what I got from most of her, this YouTube video I got was she always lost, but somehow always came out looking better. Like every time, like was still able to get down, like swell support and stuff like that. So Ito lost.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, Aja Kong moved on, so I believe that means we get Yuka versus Sakura, and then I forget the girl her name that beat Ito, but she's taking on Aja Kong.
Okay.
On the American side of things, we have Nyla Rose taking on Tay Conti next week, and Britt Baker taking on Anna Jay. Now that Riho won, she will face Thunder Rosa next as well. So it's interesting, man. I can't wait to take a look for it. Something I'm not really looking forward to is Jade Cargill and Shaq, bro. I cannot get into this. For life,
I can't get into it either.
Dude, I can't.
I totally hear you. Like I'm into Jade Cargill versus Red Velvet, and that's like the only saving grace to me for this whole fucking thing. But like it's hot garbage. It's not good because like it has like we're cross promoting our stupid shows on TNT like written all over it, and it's like I don't care about that, you know.
I'm wondering how many casual fans Shaq is gonna bring in. I know there's gonna be a lot of people. Like there's gonna be because what was it? It wasn't too long ago.
Well, no, you're right.
It wasn't too long ago that AEW Dynamite followed like an NBA game or something, and then there was a bump from all the NBA fans and stuff watching. Yeah,
because NBA Twitter friggin' roasted Jericho.
Yeah, Chris Jericho got destroyed.
It was funny.
I don't hate it. It's just not for me, man. I have no like Shaq. The only time I was ever interested in watching Shaq wrestle was when they were teasing him in the Big Show, because I was like, okay, two giants, that could be pretty fun.
Yeah,
Shaq and Cody.
Yeah,
Rhodes,
literally like the. Yeah, who cares? Nobody cares.
I don't know.
Nobody cares. I haven't been interested in this from the jump. It was just like, I don't need this. What the hell?
Hopefully
give some of the other women.
Yeah, hopefully Jade and Red Velvet come out looking like stars. That's what I'm hoping for. If that
happens, then maybe okay, I'll slow my roll. But like, that's the only way that's gonna look good, you know? Because like, yeah, literally nobody gives a shit about Cody versus Shaq. I can't. Like,
I haven't met anybody that's like, yo, I can't wait for that. You know, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's corporate.
Like you said, maybe the casual fan that's just like, yo, I love Shaquille O'Neal might watch it, but like that doesn't have anything to do with fucking wrestling. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that's
I mean,
fine for them. I'm just saying,
the thought process is you'll bring fans in who are interested in seeing Shaq, and then the rest of the show will make a portion of them fans. It's kind of like
yeah, of course.
I forget who it was I always argued with about Legends Night. They were always defending Legends Night, and I was like, dude, it's so stupid. And that was their defense, was it brings back old fans and then they use the rest of the show to try and make new fans. So we'll see, but yeah, I got nothing for that match. Another nothing match was Luther taking on Orange Cassidy. This was a big waste of time. I'm not gonna lie. But it didn't overstay its welcome. We'll say that.
Although the orange punch, the Superman punch at the end was vicious. That's one of the best ones I've ever seen. That was so good.
Oh man, he does it better than Roman. Yeah.
No question, he does it better than Roman.
The match itself felt like it was less than 2 minutes. Before the match, Luther and Serpentico. Help me out, Kev. Serpentico. Excuse me. I spelled it wrong, and I knew I might mess myself up. I'm looking at my spelling.
Oh, dude, check this out. I was looking, like, I look up the AEW, like the results to kind of skim an article.
Yeah,
I accidentally spelled it re-sluts, but it still found it anyway.
Jesus Christ. Luther and Serpentico jump Chuck Taylor before the match, and Orange Cassidy. However, that's pretty much the only momentum they got. It was quickly turned around. Orange Cassidy hits an apron powerbomb from the apron to the outside on Luther, while Chuck hits the awful waffle to Serpentico. Orange punch for the win. The match was over and done with, less than 2 minutes. I'd be surprised if that went over. Honestly, I'd be surprised if it went over 90 seconds. It was
a glorified squash match.
Pretty much.
That's all it really was.
It really was.
I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm into Orange Cassidy picking up a win, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it was just like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, keeps him on TV.
Yeah, that's about all I can say about it. Like, it was like whatever. That was a dope orange punch, and I'm glad he won. That's about it,
I wonder if God, I'm trying to think. Miro, Kip Sabian, and them were supposed to do something this week, but couldn't because of the weather. Because I feel like how quickly that would have lent itself to an additional segment, but there was nothing.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. Because they had said that, like, specifically with the FTR match, that Tully Blanchard was stranded in Texas. Like, they actually said that on commentary.
Tully Blanchard, Ricky Starks from Team Taz, Will Hobbs, a lot of missing people due to weather. Speaking of Team Taz, that was the next segment up. Taz, Hook, and Cage come out to the ring for a promo. They've been hearing that Sting was going to call them out, so they're going to flip the script, call out Sting, who surprisingly obliges, comes out bat and toed. Taz says, "You're lucky you have that bat." So Sting, like an idiot, drops the bat, attacks Brian Cage. Hook ends up getting a hold of Sting. The numbers is too much at that point. Brian Cage lays a huge power bomb. Now, he didn't Brock Lesnar him, but he didn't baby it either. Like, no, he didn't. Sting took a
this was a legit power bomb. Like, my heart skipped a beat. I was like, are we literally going to witness fucking Sting dying in the middle of the ring from this power bomb? I was still like waiting for something to happen to like have it stop, like the lights go down or something. And then I was like, oh shit, it's happening. Like, here we go. He's going for that fucking ride, you know?
Oh my god,
I guess he made it though. Like,
dude, I'm not gonna
it
lie.
was
Sting looked like an old man. Like, I mean, he's
oh,
60.
100%.
He's 60. I'm not saying he's supposed to go out there and shock us, and put on great matches. Honestly, I'm very, very confused why he's even in the position he's in. I believe that a man like him should be used
absolutely.
like how Tully Blanchard and Jake the Snake are being used. You know what I mean? You don't need to be advertising yourself for a
Same
match.
age as them.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't. He doesn't need to be out there being involved in like an in-ring talent, type of way. I do believe that the street fight will be pre-taped. I
goddamn hope so.
yeah, I do not believe that Sting is going to try to piece together a 12 to 20 minute match with no breaks, taking bumps and stuff. But at the same time, dude,
Well, Jesus,
a powerbomb, bro.
you could tell the Randy Orton Edge match, the last man standing, that they were taking breaks. That was pre-taped, and those dudes are in way better shape than Sting is. You know what I'm saying? Like, get out of here. They're yeah.
Bloth says 12 minutes. He says, "Wow, no, I'm right there with you, man. I couldn't picture Sting in anything other than a squash match where he's getting squashed. Like, I could not picture him running ropes. I mean, who knows? Maybe he's got like a small burst in him, but I mean, the dude, he's in his 60s. He's got spinal stenosis, wear and tear from decades of wrestling. There's no reason this man needs to be involved in anything resembling a match."
Right.
Yeah, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
We'll see what they do with it. We'll see what they do with it. I mean, look, The Undertaker had the Boneyard match, and that was fantastic. We might be able to get something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe this will be friggin' Sting's Boneyard match. Who knows?
Just like I said, move on to like Darby's mentor, backstage producer.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I love Sting, but I think we've milked the cow enough of his star power that you can slowly start to fade to the background and highlight the youth.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
No,
go ahead.
Because what I was gonna say is like that's what all the other people his age are doing. They're playing the side or background to the current talent. Sting is the only one right now who's playing like he's just as important as Darby. And as much, they're not even throwing any indicator that he's not Darby's equal. I mean, that he's anything less than Darby's equal,
Right.
Yeah.
No, I totally.
It doesn't make sense.
I totally hear you. No, it doesn't completely. But all I was gonna say was I don't necessarily even have a problem with him being an on-screen talent, like in the role that like the dudes that you mentioned, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, Taz. That would be dope. But yeah, no. Get him out of the ring. Don't even put him there.
Move him into that mentor. Like you said, him and Darby already, like Darby's already done so many things to resemble Sting. Sitting in the stands, being the loner, all of that stuff. All you got to do is just transition to Sting, dropping lines like, it's all about picking your time. It's, it's all about be wise in choosing your allies. You know what I mean? Just little tidbits of knowledge to guide Darby on down like a similar path that Sting's had. Not that he needs to be his tag partner, man. You don't have Jake the Snake out there even close to resembling like he's going to tag with Lance Archer or, Tully Blanchard has done a move or two, but that's what they leave it at, a move or two.
So did Jake the Snake, but Jesus, he almost killed himself when he did it.
Really did, man.
He threw a lariat or some
shit.
That
was hilarious.
It was like,
he busted out laughing after he clotheslined Angelico.
Oh, yeah, that's who he threw it on. Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, we don't need that.
Yeah. I don't know. It is like one of the one thing, like, I try to, like, push out all those AEW haters and stuff like that, but it's kind of like one of the things where I'm like, you guys really have a point here. Like, Sting's they're overplaying him a little bit. Up next, Kenny Omega reads Killing the Business, the Young Bucks book, to a class of children. Looks like about first or second grade. He's on a PR campaign. So he's on a complete PR campaign to get people to like him. The children ask him to play with them when he's done. He says, not he says it. Don Callis says he can't. So they have Nakazawa do it. The kids cheer that Nakazawa sucks, and then they beat him up. It was good, silly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, mostly just to sell that Don Callis is a fucking terrible businessman. And, and I was with it. You know what I mean? Because he was like, no, time is money is, kind of what was the story there. But like Kanazawa was expendable,
I like that when he read to the class, he didn't even get to read a paragraph. He just read like one statement that it was his and Jericho's match in the Tokyo Dome elevated New Japan to like new heights or something.
That's right.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
That meant we made a lot of money. Yeah.
Right. So here's my big gripe of the night, man. We get a pay-per-view caliber match between the Young Bucks and X-Lax, Pride and Powerful. X-Lax. Yeah, Santana and Ortiz.
X-Lax. I forgot about that. That's fucking hilarious.
We get a match between these two guys. Fantastic match.
Holy crap.
It ends with just a bullshit roll-up. After all the big moves, after all the insane spots that we got, it was like we were just getting to the third act, and we just get a random roll up, man. Like, I don't know what it felt like. It was like a wet fart for me.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely anticlimactic for me too, because it was like up to like the last like 10 seconds of the match. Honestly, it was fire, and then all of a sudden it was, oh, it's over. Like what the, it's over, like that's kind of what I felt like.
No, it just took the air out of the room. I saw it on Twitter too, so it wasn't only me. Like, I saw a lot of people. I was like, what the hell was with that? Like, you give us all of that hype and drama, and you cut it off just as it's like picking up to the really good part in a match like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I really wasn't a fan of that ending at all. And other than that, I mean, the match otherwise was fantastic. Just like such a terrible fucking end.
And I was almost kind of hoping that Santana Ortiz would win, because, like, I mean, the fucking inner circle disintegrating angle is kind of already in play. What a better way to keep that shit going in the Revolution, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, excuse me. No, you have a good point. I was gonna compound on that. I watched segment from Going in Raw, Larson from Steven Larson. That's what he said. He believed that Santana and Ortiz would win. Then you get a match between them and MJF and Chris Jericho, and then the Young Bucks. The reason why they would win is the Good Brothers would try to help the Young Bucks and accidentally cost them the loss. And then the Young Bucks would get a dream match against the Good Brothers. And then, you set up like two fantastic matches. Yeah. And I was like, damn, that's good. But it wasn't meant to be. It was not meant to be. Yeah. We'll get there. But Inner Circle. Go ahead.
Bucks and Good Brothers are going to get in the ring at some point with this Impact.
Oh, I can't wait for that shit too. I can't wait for the Bullet Club. Like, that's going to be the biggest thing, is the Bullet Club war, the Elite and Bullet Club. Oh, it's going to be so good.
Speaking of on Impact, Brian Finley and Juice Robinson had a match, and then after the match, they were cutting. Good Brothers came out and cut a promo on them, and they were calling them like young boys and stuff, and how they had to go, get their beer for them and shit like that. So, like, there's heat there now too. That's really, really dope.
Yeah, I heard that might be the matchup going forward. Uh, Afterwards, Inner Circle comes out. They attack the Young Bucks, and at which point we pan backstage. Don Callis is telling Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers to stand down, essentially let the Young Bucks die. After lamenting so many times, Callis sends out the Good Brothers extremely late. By this point, Jericho and
What difference did it make?
Yeah, Jericho and MJF have them locked in Salt the Earth and Lion Tamer, both Young Bucks tapping out. Finally, when the Good Brothers finally make it out, everyone just disperses. There's no brawl. And Jericho gets in the face of the Young Bucks' parents, which was...
Yeah, it was his dad, their dad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm into the angle. Inner Circle by far has the best story going on right now, in my opinion. I like their story more than anything. I feel like the Bullet Club stuff is just beginning, but we're not like quite into it just yet. Like they have to get through Moxley and Kenny first before we can start working on like this faction warfare and stuff, which is the part I'm looking forward to the most, to be honest.
No, you're right. This is kind of like the prologue, if you will. So it's not quite there yet, but you see what they're building, and you're like, fucking A, But yeah, I mean, right now I'm definitely a little bit more invested in what's going on in the Inner Circle because I mean that's kind of coming to a crescendo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So of course,
Yeah, no, exactly, man. It's there's a lot of stuff.
Oh, I wanted when the Good Brothers came out and helped the Young Bucks and they were like standing over them and shit, I was waiting for them to attack them. I wanted them to punch them so bad.
It does feel disingenuous. Like,
the
Young Bucks right now, it's part of the PR strategy. Like, be friends with the Young Bucks. Keep them. We really don't give two shits about them, but we have to still save face right now. Because this whole PR strategy with Kenny Omega.
Keep them on good terms. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, apparently during this, I believe this part, at some point, JR said that Kenny Omega was the WWE World Champion.
Did he really?
Yeah. I saw it on Twitter.
That's fucking awesome.
Yep.
Thank God for JR. Boy, I'll tell you what, Tony Schiavone and JR, they love picture-in-picture. I've never heard anybody ever just gush about picture-in-picture.
They sell it, man.
Oh my God, Tony Schiavone was like, "Oh, I can't wait for the picture-in-picture." I was like, "Bro, you can't wait? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?"
They sell it. They don't want people really channel surfing, man.
Oh my God.
You gotta watch the picture-in-picture. There's nothing else going on right now on Wednesday night between 8 and 10.
I don't know. It's just funny to me. It's just funny.
No, exactly. It is. It is hilarious. Brandy and Cody did a gender reveal on stage to Cody Rhodes' pyro. It all went off pink. They're having a girl. It's cute.
Good for them. Yeah, it was a cool little thing.
It makes they make the AEW, and this actually is going to go into the next segment, has a way of making smaller things still feel special, and I appreciate that about them. Because we have this match, FTR returning from suspension, taking on Matt and Mike Sydal. Wasn't even aware there's a Mike Sydal, by the way.
I didn't know until tonight either. So
yeah, they have a really fun match. It's the brawling style against the high flying and striking style. And then Mike Sydal holds his own in there for being relatively unknown. He does fairly well. He does botch one of the big moves. He was supposed to do something off the top rope, and it may have been a moonsault, some corkscrew. It really looked like he actually just turned around and did like a back cross body when he was doing a splash. It was a pretty noticeable botch.
He must have slipped. That's all I can think is because, I mean, the rest of his shit was pretty crisp, That was just really noticeable because it was pretty bad.
Yeah, no, exactly. After the match, though, the FTR obviously pick up the win. And then after the match, they grab the scissors, about to cut, I think, Mike Seidel's hair. And
I think you're right, yeah.
The lights go out. Luchasaurus vignette. The mask is dead. It looks like, from what the vignette was, is that we're going to get an unmasked Luchasaurus. Instead,
that's what I thought too.
He just has a new mask that looks pretty much the same as his old mask.
Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that they came back and did what they did. But yeah, that was really fucking confusing. I didn't understand, what they were trying to say with that.
Yeah, no, that was the thing is like, so if they were going to do a new mask, they should have made some variation to make it a little bit more noticeably different, because
right,
you could put a gun to my head, tell me what's different from the first mask to the second. I don't know.
Flip of a coin.
Yeah, whereas at least like somebody like Kane, who's had variations with masks, you can be like, oh, they cut out the mouth or something, and
or a different pattern or something like that on the face. Yeah.
Could not tell you the difference. Yeah. But
no, I'm right there with you, man.
Big reveal though. The lights come up. Yeah, Luchasaurus with new mask, Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt. They lay out FTR. And going back to what I said about making little moments feel big, it's nice to see that they give essentially a mid-card act an important feeling moment.
Oh yeah.
Just giving it a little specialness from the little video vignette, the lights going out, then coming back, giving it a good pop. It really makes like them feel like AEW feels like their mid card is important instead of forgotten about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
it feels like they're investing in it.
Investment, yes, exactly. Instead of the mid card having to solely rely on putting on good matches, because that's kind of like WWE's thing is like they don't really do any major story beats like crazy ones with their mid card. People really notice WWE's mid card based on the work rate of the talent. They put on great matches.
Yeah.
Whereas AEW,
I would say,
go ahead.
I would say lately, Hurt Business has been pretty story heavy, which is dope.
Yeah.
But that's the exception to the rule, though, for sure. But they run the mid card on Monday Night Raw, which is kind of the story,
Yeah, but adding that little extra flair with your production, I find like a really nice touch.
Well, plus, like they had kind of been feuding a little bit anyway. Jurassic Express and FTR.
They
obviously
kidnapped Marco Stunt and then stood over him like all rapey. It was gross.
Oh, that was uncomfortable. Honestly,
yeah.
That was. But what I really liked about this is that, like, Marco Stunt during the whole time when Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy are beating up FTR, he's basically just like the wrestling hype man. Like he's just running around.
He really is.
And like he's like Flavor Flav when he was in Public Enemy. You know what I'm saying? It was dope, and that's like a good spot for him, honestly.
Yes, sir. No, you're absolutely right. Because I was thinking about that because commentary was like, Jurassic Express is really giving it to him. And I'm like, well, Marco Stunt's really just standing behind the guys, kind of yelling. Like, he's staying out of the way.
He didn't get any offense.
Oh, man. That's hilarious.
But it was dope. It was dope. I really appreciated that.
Yep. And then finally we move on to our main event. Man, what a main event. God dang it.
Yes.
6-man tag, Rey Fenix.
I'll tell you what though.
Yeah.
The first half to me, like, I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I couldn't tell you what happened because so fucking much happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was just
last week was
and I'm not saying that it was bad. It was just so goddamn much. It was just like, spot after. It was just crazy. It was good, but just a lot.
What was it last week that they did the tornado tag like hardcore match that we covered? There was like table spots.
Was it last week?
Was that last week? I can't remember. I want to say it was.
Who was in that match?
And that's the other part I don't remember.
Oh.
I have a really bad memory.
I don't remember either.
Anyways, no, what I was gonna say is it really feels like they made this match into like a couple different matches. Now I know any type of wrestling purist, this is what they talk about when they hate on AEW's tag matches, because a lot of the times the rules do feel like they get tossed out the window. Before the match even starts, you get like a hardcore match. Mox, Ray Phoenix, Lance Archer taking on Kingston, Butcher, and the Blade. The match doesn't even start. They're all just brawling around the ringside until you cut to commercial, you come back, and now the official tag match has started, which is
5 minutes after it did start.
Yeah. And in my opinion, was a pretty decent match. Where I could see where people would complain is where you had the classic, like, everybody gets their stuff in, where guys are hitting big moves after big moves until eventually all 6 members of both tag teams are laid out and the referee starts to administer a double count out because there's not a single person standing, which I actually thought was a pretty cool touch. I thought that was kind of neat. Another cool spot was Ray Phoenix telling Lance Archer to choke slam him off the apron for him to jump onto the opponents. Then you have Lance Archer doing...
And then Lance Archer immediately friggin', I don't know...
Cannonball senton.
Down to him.
Yeah, yeah. It was beautiful chaos, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's definitely not going to be for everybody. You know, very loose with the rules once again. It comes down to Moxley and Kingston, which I'm ready for these guys to become a tag team. I'm not lying, dude. Let Moxley...
They seem like brothers.
Dude, yes,
you know, like
exactly. Who... Oh, man, you know what? That actually kind of reminds me. They remind me... You ever seen that movie, Four Brothers?
A long time ago.
Yeah. It was Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg, god dang it, and Tyrese.
And Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg and Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg, Tyrese, and Andre 3000, and for the life of me, I can't remember the fourth brother. But they're all kind of like hard badasses that like conflict.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see like a version of that, like Moxley and Kingston, and then maybe bring in someone else. I don't know, like Pac or something. And just like a bunch of rough bastards that hate each other, but can destroy people at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, shit, man. I mean, I remember having knockout, drag-out fights like that with my brother when I was a kid, for crying out loud, you know? I'm sure you do too, you know? So,
dude, my brother and I got in the worst and most violent fist fight we ever had when he turned 21. Too much alcohol. It was just too much alcohol. Yeah, that's all it was. Took him out to get drunk, got plastered. Next thing I know, we're fighting in our kitchen. and it was bad. We're great now. I mean, we do a podcast together every Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
But who knows? Maybe we'll bring it up sometime. But
shit happens, I guess.
Yeah. But I want to see that dynamic between Moxley and Kingston.
Yeah.
You know? Anyways, Moxley's able to take Kingston out with a paradigm shift. Afterwards, the Good Brothers come out. They jump Moxley, followed by Omega. Omega essentially just says that no matter what I do, I can't get rid of you. I saw that you got a rematch clause in your contract. So he implies that he essentially has to kill Moxley. So at Revolution, we're getting the barbed wire death match. Exploding barbed wire death match. Now, from what I've seen, there's a timer involved in this. Like, the match has a time limit, and when the time limit reaches its crescendo, or it ends, a bomb goes off. Like, there is, like, a literal explosion.
There's legitimately a fucking bomb.
Yes. Like, yes.
Jesus Christ.
You'll have to hop on YouTube and check it out, man.
That's fucking insane.
If it's anything like I've seen on YouTube, it's gonna be an absolute bonkers match, and I'm all for it. I love AEW,
me too.
Man.
Me too, because that's the thing. They do. They're not afraid to do these bonkers fucking wrestling shit that's like totally wrestling, and then these wrestling purists are like, "Yo, that's not wrestling," and it's like, "What do you mean? Wrestling is just supposed to be stupid and fun and a caricature of a dumb fight."
it's supposed to be
Why not have bombs?
Pro wrestling is a variety show. It is just another take on a variety show. You've got violence, you've got comedy, you've got drama, you've got athleticism. You have all of these different mix of things that people can be fans of, you know. And AEW seems to be capitalizing on that a lot, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I really like the cross promotion shit, you know, because like we are legitimately starting to get like, you know, builds towards some of those dream matches that people have wanted for years, you know. I mean, not that I'm fully invested in some of that stuff, you know, but like it's cool to see. Like I've been watching Impact a lot lately, you know.
It feels like WWE.
That's a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have watched. Go ahead, sorry.
No. I didn't mean to cut you off. It feels like WWE and Ring of Honor are the only ones not sitting at the cool table. Because at the cool table,
yeah,
you've got AEW, New Japan, the two big ones, and then you've got their cool little side friends, Impact Wrestling, AAA, NWA. You know, all these people getting along, and poor WWE and surprisingly Ring of Honor, it just sitting in the cold.
Yeah. What are you doing, Ring of Honor? You should be getting in on this too, man.
Yeah, no. You kind of have like two methods of this. I'll briefly touch on it because I kind of think it's like WWE does have all their other promotions, but they did the opposite. They're like Thanos. They swallowed them up. So instead of using their wrestlers to hype up your wrestlers or sending your guys to those promotions to hype up those promotions, they're using them just as a feeder system, as minor leagues to help people move up to the major leagues, where everybody over on AEW side are trying to treat each other as big deals. It's a big deal. Look, I mean, honestly, I don't mean this as an insult to anybody who is a fan. Who really has given a hell about NWA in the longest time? It wasn't until last year, before COVID, NWA finally started to get a little bit of traction. Yet AEW treats their women's championship like almost more important than their own championship belt. You know?
Yeah.
And so that's the thing, is it's AEW in turn is benefiting the most, but they are in turn trying to and elevate the other people around them.
Absolutely. I mean, they're spreading it around. I mean, Impact saw the best numbers that they've ever seen, like on Twitch and Access and stuff. When Kenny Omega showed up there, the best they've ever seen. You know, like it's
fantastic stuff. But
yeah, I love that because it's good for both of them. You know, like I'm getting exposed to stuff that I wouldn't have before. Impact's making more money, and AEW's doing cool ass dream matches, and it's a win-win-win. I mean, what is not to love about this? You know?
Yeah, and so like that's what I'm saying, man. Is I'm excited, and you know, it's not a guarantee that they'll knock it out the park, but damn it, if I'm not rooting for them to come up and take full advantage of this. Because the last time we got this was the WCW and WWE invasion, and we were like, how could you fuck it up? How could you fuck up something so easy? WWE still managed to.
And then they fucked it up.
Yeah. So it's not like it's impossible.
So far, they're not fucking this up.
Yeah. So far, we're good.
I mean, we've already gotten some lesser matches that, you know, like the Good Brothers getting in the ring with Private Party. I mean, it was a triple threat match.
Yeah.
But like they were in a match together, you know. Kenta was in a match on AEW. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, that was the match. That was the match I mentioned earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, it was a no DQ. I think Falls Count Anywhere, wasn't that what something like that?
Yeah. Kenta and Pac taking on Moxley and Archer, and it was fantastic stuff. But
yeah, it was great.
Speaking of fantastic,
but yeah,
that's it for our show. Thank you guys for joining us.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh man, what a night it's been. It's been a weird night, Kev. It's been
Yeah.
a weird night. I'm sitting in a rocking chair, man. I feel so awkward, like out of place. But
Hey
thank you
man,
guys for
own it,
joining.
you old fart.
I know. You want to sign us off tonight?
Sure. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Smoke a bowl before you go to sleep. Bye, Smack Raw Podcast.
Jesus Christ, Kevin, that's the last time we ever do that.
Good humor.